Hey, I'm Jake. Welcome back to Glorified Gutsy Gaming, and today I am going to rank the games that I played in the month of July, which is now, again, almost a month past. I've had this list out for a little bit, but I haven't recorded it. But this is kind of a bigger one. I played a lot of these multiple times, and this is including Dice Tower East, which started on July 1st. I was paid, kind of, sort of, compensated, I guess you could say, to do some of these. So I kind of don't want to talk about those because I don't know, they were part of a gig. I don't know, it feels kind of odd for me. Um, so I have 14 of them, but I'm only going to go through the top. I'm only going to go through 11 of them because some of those just feel a little bit weird to go through. So number 11 is Ogre Under. It's a kids game that I had ordered quite a few years ago from Miniature Market for fairly cheap. It comes in a tin, like so. You're trying to lead your character and your donkey to market. Oh, my son has woken up. So Ogre Under is a kids game. I liked it. It was simple. It was fast. One I think that we're gonna keep just to play with our kids as they get older. So then down to number 10. This is Path of Light and Shadow. It came out in 2019. I don't own it. I played it at Dice Tower East. In fact, it was the last game I played there. It is a deck building Euro game, dudes on a map style game, and it was a lot heavier on the Euro than I kind of expected. Not bad. I would probably give it another go. One person was tough to play with. They were just way ahead of both of us. Otherwise, it was fairly close and interesting. 9 is In the Hall of the Mountain King. I had gotten this in the virtual flea market, and I played it when we came home. Unfortunately, it is not really a two-player game. It's supposed to be 90 minutes. Learned it, and we played it in like half an hour, I think. I think that's one of the only times that I've been under the playtime, and probably one of the only times that I've been unhappy about it being less than I thought. We just didn't really have any interaction because there was only 2 of us on opposite sides of the board, even with the different rules for setup and whatnot. Some cool little things in it, but I really need to try it with more people, and especially before I forget all the rules. But I'm getting to that point already, unfortunately, because it's been almost 2 months. And number, what is that? That was 11, 10, right? Oh, so that was 9. So number 8 is Campania, which is a new area control Euro game that was kind of in the hot games at Dice Tower. I played it. I thought it was cool. It had some nice stuff. I kind of ignored like half the game and still did really well, and probably would have won if somebody hadn't already known how to play. But not bad. I feel like that's one of those games where the art looks really cool and draws you in, and I think there's some interesting stuff there, and I think it's gonna hold up for maybe a handful of people, but I think that one's gonna slip by eventually. Then we've got number 7. This is Lost Cities, the board game. It is another one that I got in the virtual flea market and picked up. We've played it 3 times now since. I'm trying to remember where I put it at the moment. But it's not bad. I don't know that I like it as much as the original Lost Cities. And then they have, of course, the spinoff that Knizia did with surfing. That's kind of like more of a take that 2 to 4 player card game. It's kind of like Lost Cities, the same kind of engine and whatnot. But this one it's the same. Like you have to do the same stuff as in the Lost Cities, but there's a board with several tracks, and you move up those tracks to get different different bonuses. Some of them can go on to another round of the game if you decide to play more than just the short one round. I think it's good. I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's nearly as good as the first one, just because it's not quite as tight. But I do really like it. Just, I don't know, it doesn't feel as strategic, I guess, with more people, because there's more people to have the other cards that you might want. So yeah, I don't think that it's bad. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it yet. I think it's good. I just don't know that it's better than the other two versions kind of that I've played and liked. So then number 6, Zombie Princess, a trick-taking game, the new one. This might have been in Hot Games too, but I played it with a different group. It was actually the first game I played at Dice Tower East. It was pretty interesting. I know some people have been tough on the scoring, and I don't know because I didn't read the rules. And the scoring when I was counting it up made sense to me. I didn't think it was that hard. And yet, I thought I was winning by like a decent amount and lost by a couple points. So obviously I didn't understand the scoring as much as I thought. And I haven't played Rebel Princess to know all the differences between the two. But this one was good. I like it. I'm not buying it, but certainly one I would happily play if somebody wanted to play it. Then I'm gonna skip that one. So we're at, that was 6, I think. So we're at number 5. This is How to Rob a Bank. This is also another one that I've had in the past and talked about. I got this again in the virtual flea market. I've played it 4 times since we got it. And we'd actually discovered after playing twice that we'd played wrong kind of the whole time. And not like it was really that big of a deal, but you're supposed to reset each round and play like 3 separate rounds, and we kind of did it as one long one. And I felt like that was better, actually. And we did try a couple other little variant things with it, and we had a good time. But it is a programming game where one side tries to rob a bank as a team, and the other side are the security guards, where you're trying to stop them from obviously robbing the bank. And I thought, I've kind of talked about this one before, but I initially learned of and picked it up because I played Cult Express and was interested in it, but I found it very expensive for the time. And I found the same mechanism in this game, and this was super cheap. Played this a lot and really liked it, and then eventually got Cult Express last year, I think it was, and I've played that one once-ish and found it to be really tough. Kind of unforgiving. Granted, I played it at the highest player count, maybe I should not have, but I found that this feels, I don't know, more streamlined. We've had more fun with this historically already, and then I've had a comparison of both of these this year, and I still really like this one a lot better. It definitely has some component kind of issues, which this version of this for me is actually better than the last one. I don't know if that one was just not as great. But I had complained about the board having some issues, I think, some warping maybe. But this one is fine. I've got no issues with it. The cards are super thin, but I think that they are waterproof. And you can kind of change the tile layout and it'd be different every time too, which is fun. It adds variability. I think it does change the strategy, and like there's certain setups that are probably going to kind of favor one side, but I don't know. I still really like it. Number 4, this is also one from Dice Tower East that I don't own. This is Pinatas. This is a trick-taking game about, I think, collecting candy. And I guess it's been redone quite a few times, but I played this with a group of people that were relatively new to me, and I had a great time with it. I'd really like to play it again. I actually thought about buying it there, and I kind of have made a rule for myself that I don't buy things from the vendors at conventions because they tend to be way more expensive than if you just bought them some other time, some other place. And I thought about it because I think it's $17 when, you know, and you're in person, so there's no shipping. And it's probably worth $17, but I was being a little cheap. And of course, I feel like these all-play games, I've got quite a few of them now that I've ended up picking up for $5 or $10 from people later. It's just, there's so many of them. I think they've mass-produced them so many times that there's just so many copies that it's not hard to get. Excuse me. You're probably going to hear my son throughout the rest of this video, so apologies, but I didn't get this out in time before he woke up. So yeah, number 4, that was Pinatas. Number 3, Fruitoplay. I played this 3 times and I've played it more since then. This is another trick-taking game, but this is simultaneous. From the virtual flea market. I picked this one up in a bundle with a few other things, and I've really liked it. Some of these trick-taking games are really good. I was like, wow, there's just so many good ones. But it's right here. So you're collecting, like set collecting different types of fruit, and you're all playing this simultaneously. So you don't know what other people are going to play, and you don't have to follow suit. There's a kind of a river of cards in the middle that you're kind of competing over or avoiding. And you all play a card face down and you flip it over, and whoever's closest of the suit wins, and if nobody's of the suit, then whoever's closest to the number. And if there's a tie for closest, those are both canceled, and the next one up wins, which can really throw some things off. And it's a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. 2, 3, and 4 players. I think it goes up to 6. I'd have to check. But one I've really enjoyed, one that we've played a lot. I think we've played it 3 more times since just this month. And then number 2, Long Shot the Dice Game. This is a racing betting game on horses. Another virtual flea market game. I remember when this was on Kickstarter, I was mildly interested, but I didn't. I ended up not wanting to back it and pay the price. I think it was like $30. I paid $10 here. But we've played this quite a few times. I actually like this one with less, and I kind of got it to be a party game with multiple people. And we've played at 3 and then at 5 or 6. And I liked it better when we played it 2. Coming in really high on this one, but it might slow down as I go. And then number 1 is, I've played that 3 times, by the way. And I think I've maybe played it again this month, I'm not sure. And then number 1, this is Diplomacy Era of Empire. This was at Dice Tower East. My friend had won a copy at the big Dice Tower, or the big Diplomacy event. It is the new Colonial Diplomacy. It's the new version. So yeah, it is the new version of Colonial Diplomacy that uses a Southeast Asia map. And I have the original that I have played one time and had a great time with it. But played it with the new rules. They changed a few things. I think that they kind of wanted to redo Diplomacy when Renegade took over and reprinted it. I think they wanted to change a couple things and streamline it and make it easier for new players. And I don't think they wanted to change it because it was the classic one, and thus less people have played this version. So I think that they wanted to take this version and add those in and kind of see how people liked it. And I did like it. I like the original version too, and I like the original rules. I understand why they took some of those out. So they added forward building, which if you've never played this before, you start in a country with 3 or 4 centers where you can build your armies and your fleets, and throughout the game, hopefully you get more, and then you can't build there. You have to still build in your original 3 or 4 places that you could build. And in this version, you don't have to. You can build wherever. I think that this probably makes more of a difference as the game goes on, rather than in a short, like, one evening get together, which is kind of what Dice Tower is. We played like 4 hours. So it didn't come in like super, add a lot of changes for that regard. I think I did it nearly at the end, and some other people did. The other rule was you could change out your units at the end of a year. Like, you could put in your orders to change them from a fleet to an army or vice versa, which was brand new. I really liked that because that can get kind of messy in the other version, or just in the other rule set. As you go, certain countries have a need for a type of unit early on, and then that need kind of dwindles, especially if they do well, because maybe the threat that you needed that for is gone, and then you're kind of stuck with those, and you have to kind of try to destroy your own units or just find a way to make them useful. And in this way, you don't have to. So I do like that. It did, again, kind of come in towards the end of our 4-hour session, and probably would be more useful as you go on. And then in this particular map, Russia originally has a railway to move across multiple Russian spaces, and they just took that out and kind of made the spaces bigger so that you don't have to move as many spots. I think either way it kind of comes out the same, but for people that have played the first diploma or the regular diplomacy that doesn't have any of that, any of those railway spaces, it probably makes it simpler and easier. I think just balance wise it's probably the same, but it was good. And then the last thing that they did, this is probably my favorite, where they took out East Coast, South Coast, West Coast, whatever. In the original map with Turkey, there's Constantinople that has some issues, and then around Spain and probably somewhere around Denmark there might be another one. I'd have to look at it, but there's a couple where it gets a little more confusing with fleet units on different coasts, because you might want to just go to this thing and you don't specify it. It just kind of is an issue. And I guess because I've played it enough, I don't really notice anymore or care. But in playing this version, admittedly, I've only played that colonial version one time, so I didn't really super notice it. But having them not there at all and not having to teach that or explain that to people really is so much better. That should probably be the standard if they eventually make more maps going forward, or eventually decide to redo the original map. I think that would probably be the way to do it, even though it works fine as the way it is. Kind of like the railroad tracks, where I felt like it works fine, but this is more streamlined. I can see the argument for it, and it's probably the right call. So that is my diplomacy rant for the video. But you'll notice in this video there's no HeroScape, and still no Star Trek, still no Dice. I was gonna say Dice Throne. I don't play Dice Throne. The DC deck building game, no Unmatched. So some of the ones that I typically play, I did not play this month, but that's probably just because of Dice Tower and working and stuff. But yeah, that's this month's video. August, I have no idea. I feel like it's probably a lot of these same videos, but I guess you'll have to come back and see. Thanks for watching.